Today I'm going to talk about the government versus encryption. So what do Hillary Clinton, Jeb Bush, and Carly Fiorina all have in common? Well, not only are they politicians, but they're also some of the biggest candidates for the 2016 presidential elections. But what else do they have in common? All three of them have given their opinions on encryption, but have proved that they do not understand what encryption is and how it works. So before we go any further, let's make sure you know more about encryption than Hillary, Jeb, and Carly. Encryption is a process of encoding information in a way that only the person possessing the key can decode it. Encryption is very much like a cipher. The words are jumbled up when you open the message, but after decoding it with a key, it becomes readable. The main reason for the use of encryption is to protect the confidentiality of digital data stored on the computer systems or transmitted via the internet or other computer networks. The need for the security of our digital data is very much like the need for an envelope when we send mail. The envelope provides the sender information, the receiver information, and the message. Because the envelope is sealed, it is proof that the message has not been seen by anyone else, tampered with, or changed. There are two kinds of encryptions. There is symmetric key encryption and asymmetric key encryption. In symmetric key encryption, each computer has a secret key that it can use to encrypt a packet of information before it is sent over the network to another computer. Symmetric key requires that you know which computers will be talking to each other so you can install the key on each one. Symmetric key encryption is essentially the same as a secret code that each of the two computers must know in order to decode the information. In asymmetric key encryption, encryption uses two different keys at once, a combination of a private key and a public key. The private key is known only to your computer, while the public key is given by your computer to any computer that wants to communicate securely with it. To decode an encrypted message, a computer must use the public key provided by the originating computer and its own private key. Today, encryption is used to protect emails, passwords, files, credit card information, bank information, social security numbers, personal information, and more. Without encryption, information could easily be compromised and no one would trust sending his or her information digitally. Because the information we share digitally has become increasingly sensitive, the levels and complexity of encryption has become more advanced. Therefore, it becomes harder and harder for people and the government to crack these encryptions. So what exactly does the government have against encryption? The government does not like the idea that there are encryptions that even the NSA and the FBI can't crack. What they are mainly concerned with is the idea of terrorists or criminals going dark. Going dark means that the government can no longer track them or access their forms of communication due to strong encryption. The government's solution to people going dark is the idea of a backdoor. The backdoor would allow the government to hold on to a copy of the key for a backdoor to the encryption, so that the government can also look at the information if they need to. But there are two problems with this method. What if malicious hackers were able to get a hold of these backdoor keys? Then all of our information would be compromised and we would be the ones at a disadvantage. Another problem is the issue of privacy. Not everyone is okay with strangers monitoring their every action. Many of the top companies such as Google, Facebook, Apple, and WhatsApp have taken action in strengthening their encryption so that even they cannot access their users' information or data. The government wants to start the crackdown on encryption by starting with these top companies. But these corporations will not budge, because these companies understand that privacy is of the highest importance to their users. If these companies decided to comply with the idea of a backdoor, users might stop using their services and find something else more secure. While we force a backdoor on our own companies, foreign corporations are free to use encryption. This allows the foreign companies to have a huge economic advantage because they can ensure their customers that their data will be safe from both governments and hackers. So while we are putting our security in the hands of the government, others are being protected by increasingly stronger encryption. So would you rather have the opportunity to encrypt your own personal data, or allow the government to centralize and have access to all of our data?